Welcome to Stock Talk. This is your host, Scott. Hope you had a good week in the market. We've had a pretty good week thus far, mainly because of NVAX. We'll talk about our trades that we've made this week. We have unloaded a few of those shares that we had, still holding a little bit in the cash account, but it's been a really good week for them. Some news came out and popped it up this week, so that's kind of the news was not the news we've been waiting on, so we're still waiting on some of that approval news and those type of things, but we're holding out for those still with the shares that we have left. If it draws back, we'll buy back in on those other accounts. But we'll talk about that as we look at it. But other than that, we've had a pretty good week. I hope you have too. And so do want to let you know that we are back up to about 61% cash now, and we were a good ways behind on the NASDAQ, S&P. I think it was the Dow. But with those sales of NVAX this week, I think we probably caught up with them, if not passed them. So good week so far. Kind of what we were expecting if we got any news. And the good thing is that we didn't even get the news that we were waiting on yet. So the shares that we have left have a lot of potential still. But let's jump into that and take a look at it where we're at. So let's go look at our portfolio. Here's our portfolio, as you can see here. I did go ahead and add Tesla to the top of this because I'm watching Tesla. They had earnings the other day. It wasn't nothing terrible or anything like that, but there was some news that wasn't as good as people predicted. So it pulled back a little bit. Has been pulling back a little bit, and I'm waiting for that 690 range. Got really close today. Didn't fill my orders. I have some orders out there for 690. So possibly get those tomorrow. I don't know. It may pop up in the morning. Who knows? But I'd like to get those if I could. Get back in Tesla, especially now that we got all this cash on the sideline. So that's a good thing. So we're gonna be watching that one. Don't have it yet, but I did add it to the list. I'll go ahead and show you the chart for a 5-day chart here, and show you what I'm talking about. You can see here we've got a good little downward trend on it for 5 days. That's what I like to see, as long as we know it's not going to go too far. But I do like to see a downward trend before I jump on anything. You see this level here, 700. That's kind of what it was hitting all around today. Here you see it held up there, and then it hit there and bounced off, and it fell past 708 here, and now it's trading back around that 700 range. So that's a point it's seen before. Looks like that's a good point. You can see even back to here, when it hit that point, it was resistance, and eventually it got up to here, and it just stayed on that little 700 range for a while, and then it popped from there. So we're going to try to get in on it, but I'm trying to get in at 690. May not be able to do that tomorrow, so we'll see. Kind of like having this cash though, so I'm not going to be in any hurry. I'm sure not going to chase it. So Tesla, we'll be watching it real close. MSTR, this is MicroStrategies. They own a lot of Bitcoin, so that's why I bought them. And they actually have earnings coming up one day this week. Let's see. Earnings April 29th, so just tomorrow's earnings. I think it's after hours, so we'll see how that goes. But they were up again today. We're still down about 2 or 3% on this one. So we're waiting for some good news on this one. This one kind of swings back and forth. It was up as high as 689 today, so another $9 from there. Then you can see it's down here to 670. After, like I said, it follows Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin's been pulling back, it's going to pull back as well. Let me see what Bitcoin's doing real quick here. It's been hanging around that 54 range, 55 range, I believe it is. Let's see where we're at now. Just bear with me 1 second here. Yeah, it's 54.5. So it's just kind of staying in that in between 5,000 and 54,000 and 55. So until it breaks above that, the NASDAQ has to have a really good day for this thing to move. any amount. And just to look at the futures here, you can see the NASDAQ showing really good for the futures, and that's because of some other big tech that's reported. And it looks like we might be in for a good day tomorrow. I hope so, and that would be awesome. What would be really awesome if it starts out a good day and then Novavax comes out with some news. And tomorrow is Thursday, so that's a day when they sometimes put out news. So we'll see if that's going to be coming into play tomorrow. But they do have earnings tomorrow. I think it's after hours, though, so we'll be watching that one after hours for sure. U.S. Steel, I don't own any of that. I'm just watching that one. 21, probably a good level if you get a chance to get in at that low. It did fall a little bit today, not enough for me to get in it. HUT MF, that one's up 6%. That one here is a mining company for Bitcoin, and I think they've been on a little bit of an upward swing here. Yeah, just a little bit. Not much, but it's up a little bit for the last few days especially. It had gotten all the way down here, 528, so that's a pretty good little run the last few days. They own a lot of Bitcoin as well, so that's why I picked this one. So we're going to keep an eye on that one. We did cost average that one a little bit, doubled down on it the other day as far as the number of shares. So we probably need to do that again if it gets us, if we ever get back to even. And we are not even on that one right yet. So we'll keep hoping we get there. I'm not sure exactly where I'm at on that one right now. I think we're down probably a good 10% at least on it still, at least 10%. All right, Novavax looks red here, but you can see that price there. Yesterday, Novavax exploded, and actually what drove it yesterday was Biden was kind of mentioned it when he was talking to somebody about vaccines and getting vaccines out to other countries. He mentioned the name Novavax, so that's one of the things. Also, some stuff going on in South Korea, some conversation going on there, and just but I think the Biden mention is really what drove it yesterday. But take a look at this 5-day chart. You see what happened yesterday. And I sold this week. I've been selling Novavax all week, anywhere from 216 to yesterday 262. So I sold it all week from 216 all the way up to 262. So we take some good profit on that. In the IRAs, I actually sold the last of the IRA today, and we sold what we sold. It was about 11% profit on what we were holding there, and it was a good number of shares, so that was a good stake in the IRAs. But they are cleaned out now as far as Novavax goes, and so we're going to be happy with those gains at the 10, 11% in the amount of time we had it. We didn't hold them that long. The shares, I can't remember how many weeks we had it, but it wasn't very many weeks at all. And we're holding some still in the cash account. We sold also in the cash account those same days, but we managed to save a lot more shares in that cash account. So I'm pleased with that. We are holding a ton of shares still in the cash account. A good stake there. I went pretty much all in on Novavax on the cash account. I had a little bit of that HUT MF Bitcoin miner stock, a little bit of that, but I'd say 90% was with Novavax, and we have cashed in maybe, I want to say maybe 30% of what we were holding. So, and what we're holding right now in the cash account, we're actually up 23% on. So we got a ways for it to retrace before we'd even be back to even on that. But I just really feel like this thing, 240 was the level that I really thought it was going to get to first, and it did. It had a hard time that day. Let me show you that as well. The day when it was running so well, Tuesday, you can see here, it had gotten up to a level, and you see this little run up to here. And I had that order in for 240, and it kept getting so close. And then once it got my 240 and cleaned out those shares, it just went crazy at that point. I mean, it was just unreal. Of course, when you sell at 240 and you watch it run up like that, kind of makes you sick a little bit. But I did wait and let it run, and I actually almost sold on the high. I sold at 262. I think the high was 263 yesterday, or something like that. But I sold at 262 some more shares, so I felt pretty good about that. And then you see what happened today. It comes out of the gate, drops right back down to the level around that 240 level. And I actually watched it go lower than that today, and got down to 230. 230. What was the levels today? Got down to 235, and I actually had an order in at 235, but it only got to 235.10. So I missed buying back in, and so I said, well, if it goes up $10 from there, I'm going to go ahead and cash out on some of those shares I was holding in the IRA, and that's what I did when it hit. I sold out at 245 today, so on the shares today. But yesterday the high shares were 262, and the next shares below that was 240, and then we sold, I guess, all week again from 216 all the way up to 262. So it's been a good week. That was a really good run for Novavax. Went past my 240 that I was trying to get to, so I was thrilled to even get that, and managed to go even another $22 higher than that. So nothing wrong with that at all. That's been a good one. That's been a good one, and we are not giving up on it yet. If it pulls back down to that I'll be watching 235, 230. I'll start nibbling again probably, because I really think this thing's going to go. No doubt now that it's going to go to 260 if it gets that good news about approvals. 260s, I'd say the bottom of where it would go. So it definitely could hit that 300 mark again. So I'd be thrilled if I can get back in with all those shares again in the next week or so before any news comes out. So not in a hurry for the news now. So I'd like to get back in before the news comes out. All right. We got our Virgin Galactic Holdings here. Pretty flat today. We won't want to bother to look at that. Tilray has popped up a little bit today, 9%. So I'm not sure what's going on there, but a nice little run for today especially. Let's see what we got on the 5-day. Yeah, 5-day chart's looking very well. You're talking about 16 something all the way up to 19 something. That's nothing wrong with that. That's a good little hit. Of course, we got a long ways to go. We bought way up here at the top right here. This is where the dummies bought. And I was the dummy, one of them. So, but anyway, I chased it. That's what happens when you chase. So now we'll be holding that one maybe 2 years or so before we can never get rid of it. Maybe. You never know. It did this year, and it did it real quick. You see how quick it did it. It doesn't take long for it to come right back down. All right, so, but we're stuck in that one on that one account, thank goodness, not two. We'll watch it, and if it starts look like it's getting a trend, getting some activity and some noise around it as far as on the news and laws getting changed, stuff like that, then we might start adding on the other accounts as well. All right, Nicola has done pretty good here lately. Let's take a look at their chart. Now they had a pretty flat day today, but let's take a look at their 5-day chart. Yeah, see here, they've grown from 1042 up to 1212, so there's nothing wrong with that. They actually shot up to way up to here the other day, but they're holding that $12 level pretty good. It's pulled back a little bit today, but nothing wrong with what they've been doing. But they're heading the right direction. That's what we want to see. I think we've seen the bottom on that one. I'm feeling good about it now. I'm not going to be adding to it, but anyway. But our futures are looking real good here. You can see them here. The Nasdaq's up here. Oil was up today, and it's hitting that 64 level. MPC, if you still have any of that, I still have some of that in one of my other accounts, and yeah, it's climbing a little bit today. Had a good day, so any of your oil stocks are probably doing pretty good. So looks good. We've had a good run there this week, and it's just more of the same. We're trying to keep our eyes on Novavax, see if it gets some more news. If it does, it's probably going to be right back at that 260 level or higher, and I would say higher if it's the right news. Wouldn't surprise me a bit if it gets to 300. That's what I'm waiting on that cash. But I may take it earlier than that. We're up 20, like I said, 23% on that we're holding. That's in the cash account, which means, whatever I sell there, I'm going to have to pay taxes on unless I have some kind of loss that I can put on it, which, you never know. You may have something later on in the year. But that's, sometimes you have to pay the tax man. That's fine. I don't mind paying him if we have to. That means you're doing good. So we need to especially do it before they change the law. And I don't know if that's ever going to get changed, but it could. But anyway, more of the same. Keep your eyes on Tesla. That 690 level, I think it was. That's what I'm going to be trying to get in at. It's 690. Novavax probably start nibbling at 235. Nice little bounce off of that today at the 235.10. So I may put a little bit above 235 and make sure I get it. I don't know. It just depends how the day's going. I don't know that it's going to do anything like that tomorrow with the NASDAQ because Novavax and that MSTR seems to have a good day if NASDAQ has a good day. Most everything I've got has a good day if the NASDAQ has a good day. So we'll see how that goes. But I hope you have a great rest of your week in trading. If you get a chance, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Love to see some more subscribers. We got, I think it's 80-something% of the people that watch the videos are not subscribed. And then we got the other 20% or so that are. So there's a lot of opportunity there, as well as the likes. Don't forget to hit that like button. That helps get the video broadcasted out there to other people. So appreciate it if you can do that. Other than that, have a great rest of your week. I'll check in with you sometime later in the week. Probably going to be maybe Sunday night or something like that, possibly. And probably Sunday night sometime. We'll talk about what we did Thursday and Friday. Okay? All right. Well, have a great one, and we'll talk to you later. Thanks. Bye.